called an unprovoked attack. We start this hour in the Middle East, and Israeli forces have reportedly killed 18 people in Gaza on Friday, including 10 civilians waiting for aid in the south of the country, this amid escalating violence. The UN reported that nearly 800 deaths have occurred since Israel eased its blockade in May, with most occurring near US and Israel-backed Gaza Humanitarian Foundation sites. The violence has been particularly severe near these facilities. 615 of the reported deaths are in those areas. Gaza Civil Defense reported that the 10 fatalities on Friday occurred in the Al-Shakush area near Rafah, where Israeli forces have reportedly targeted aid seekers. Additionally, 6 people were killed in Israeli airstrikes in Khan Yunis, and 2 others died in drone strikes near Gaza City. Israel's military has responded by stating they are working to minimise civilian casualties and have issued new guidelines for soldiers after recent incidents. However, the UN and major aid organisations have raised concerns about the GHF's operations, accusing it of undermining humanitarian principles and potentially serving Israeli military objectives. The ongoing conflict has displaced nearly all of Gaza's 2 million residents, exacerbating the potential humanitarian crisis. Civil defence also reported deaths in a school sheltering displaced Palestinians in Jabalia al-Nazla, which has become a target of airstrikes recently. As violence continues, call for international action to protect civilians and ensure impartial aid distribution continue to grow. Well, joining us to discuss this latest development, Mohammed Mizan Aslam, a professor of international strategic studies, is joining us from Malaysia. Thank you ever so much, Professor, for being here. Further strikes reported on Friday. Of course, this a situation that has been brought up by the UN, with nearly 800 deaths reported at Gaza aid sites, many of them Gaza Humanitarian Foundation aid sites. How significant is this level of reported death at aid sites at a time where there are reports of famine and other humanitarian crises within the Gaza enclave?
Thank you very much for having me. All right. So my response to what is happening right now in Gaza, actually, it is a real catastrophic and a failure of United Nations. So we have seen from the day one of this conflict until now, a series of condemnation have been out from time to time, but have no serious action taken. It is a real failure of United Nations, because United Nations have been established since 1947, supposed to avoid such conflicts, such humanitarian crisis and genocidal that is happening right now in Gaza and all over the world. But what is happening right now is clearly they have no serious action taken, and numbers of people have been dying is like a pile up from time to time. And for Israel particularly, they've been asked, there was some like a proposal have been sent to United Nations particularly of handling distribution of aid. And it is not been accepted by United Nations. However, Israel have the total control of Gaza situation, and all of the foods have been distributed through their facilities and through their approval, and not even killing Gaza at their home and at their places. Now they're killing them as well as in the temporary tent. And the worst part is the killing now is happening at the distribution area. So finally, for me, all of the Gaza will be demolished and they will be wiped out from the area of Gaza Strip. Yeah.
Yes, Professor, of course, this report comes amidst heightened efforts over a potential ceasefire. Mediators, including Egypt, Qatar and the United States, trying to work to find a proposal and a plan that can be agreed by both Israel and Hamas. Given the current humanitarian situation in Gaza? How pivotal is it that that comes as soon as possible?
It is not a possible thing because the situation in Gaza actually is a very worsening, and we be talking about the ceasefire. I think from maybe last 2 years since the war have been erupted until now, but they have no such thing. And I seriously condemning the attack of 7 October. And I also urge the Hamas to release all of the hostages. And at the same time, Israel have to stop killing which is the civilians, killing the people, children and women and many more. So whether it is a proposal of ceasefire or not, but for me, it just a buying of time. But the killing still go on. Even when Israel starts the war with Iran, at the same time, they continue killing civilians in Gaza. And also at the same time, we can see Israel also attack Lebanon, also attack Egypt and Syria, and also Yemen. So at the same time, they have war between many countries with Israel, and shouldn't be happen. And it should be on the table of negotiation. And it is not only Israel, but all of the Arab countries should come to work together, find a solution, and put aside their arrogance and whatever their own interests. And they have to think about their people. So we can see what is happening right now is certain people, certain leaders who have interest and to retain a power for themselves, and they're willing to kill civilians who have no knowledge about what is happening.
Yes, Professor, I want to look at a potential deal. Of course, a US proposal from Steve Witkoff for around 60 days of ceasefire would see also hostages released, a limited hostage release in exchange for Palestinian prisoners. This was accepted by Israel. Is what's happening now the responsibility of Hamas, and is it on Hamas to finally agree to a ceasefire deal and put the people, the Palestinian people in Gaza first?
Yeah, I think we have a few numbers of ceasefire before. And even though the ceasefire have been inked, but the killing still happen. And I think for Hamas as well, they have to realize as long as they keep the hostages, and Israel will keep killing them. So I think the Hamas should agree on the ceasefire and just release all of the hostages, and Israel at the same time have to submit to the condition of the ceasefire. And I think if you go again towards all of the ceasefire that have been agreed by Israel and many countries, but they have no a real submission. At the same time, the killing still happen, the attacks still happen, the missiles have been sent towards the country still happening. So I think it is need a real submission, and shouldn't be any like a chicken out from the ceasefire that they agree with. And the numbers of arrests so many, and I think we need also to urge the independent observer, which is handled by United Nations, to come in to observe the whole process and to stop from happening again. Yeah.
Yes, if you stay with us, Professor, we're now going to stay on the topic